Life's a head game. We're fighting against us. You're fighting against you. You're fighting against your habits, your thoughts, your insecurities, your beliefs. That's really it. And so we have to understand that so that we can correct that. I saw this um quote, like meme card thing pop up. And so I wanted to read it to you guys because it had a lot to do with what we just listened to. It says, I am where I am because of my decisions. If I want better results, I must take better actions. I will learn the lessons. I will see the blessings. I will not stop until my goals are realized. When I reach that goal, I will set a bigger goal. I will grow and grow and grow. I accept full responsibility for my results in life. I challenge myself to become better every year, every month, every week, every day, every moment. I am committed. I am determined. I'm self-made. This is the mindset. We are where we are because of our decisions. We are where we are because of our habits. I know it's a tough message sometimes when we're in this process of growing or transitioning, or we have life circumstances or things that are happening. But the moment we can take full responsibility for where we are in life, the moment we can take full responsibility, say, it's not my family's fault I'm this way. It's not my job's fault. It's not my spouse's fault. It's not my kid's fault. It's not my boss's fault. It's not, right? Anything. There's no fault outside of ourselves. It's our decisions. Where I am is because of my decisions. The moment you say that and you believe that, your life will change because now you have ownership. You no longer give away your power. You no longer give away your power to other people. You no longer give away your power to family members or people that control your feelings or control your emotions or make you react a certain way. You give away your power when you don't own it, when you don't take responsibility for it. So we got to take responsibility for the things that we want to make happen. And the way that we take that responsibility, ladies and gentlemen, champions don't let feelings get in their way. Champions don't let feelings get in their way. Ladies and gentlemen, life is going to send you a lot of things. That's what it said in the video. Life is going to send you a lot of things. You're going to get a lot of wild calls in your life, a lot of emotions, a lot of feelings, things that are going to break your heart, things that are going to make you excited, things that are going to, right, give you fear and anxiety. There's all types of stuff you're going to feel. But champions don't let feelings get in their way, meaning of their goals, of the main purpose, of why you're here. You're always going to have these things. But the question is, how do you set those aside? How do you set those feelings aside so that you can still achieve what you want? Because if every time we get into a place where we go after something that we want, and then the feelings get in the way, and it causes us to stop going after the thing we want, we'll never get to where we want to go. We'll never get to where we want to go. And that's the key. And I bringing this up because I saw that meme quote or whatever on my phone. Then I just happened to come across that video. And then I reflected back to one of the people that I'm coaching in business. She's a therapist. I'm coaching her in her business, right? So that she can continue to grow and expand her therapy business. She just quit her job like a month ago, just quit her job. She's on her way building her therapy business. She's got a lot of good stuff going. She's got clients. She has all these things. So we're putting the systems in place, right? We're putting the people in place. She's getting the assistant. We're getting the management system in place. We're doing all of those things. Then she has a family hiccup, spouse hiccup, right? Family emergency. All her life is kind of shaken up on the family side of things. Gets her into some anxiety, some depression, some fear, right? All those feelings start popping up. And when I talked to her, what she did was, when she told me about it, she was like, and I told the assistant to slow down, like, let's come back to this in about a month, right? Because I have all this family stuff going on. Like, let me not get that investment into that client management system that I was going to have, because now my family, like my feelings of my family life are all shaken up. So I'm going to slow down what I'm doing in business. And that's why I coach. That's why we coach, is because that's the exact opposite thing that she needed to do. It's the exact opposite. It might have seemed logical to her because her life was spinning upside down, right? Her family life was going crazy and we had to get that plate spinning again, so to speak. But she let that get in the way of the goal of business. And what I told her was, I know this is hard sometimes for business people to understand, but these things are separate. Whatever the plate, that's your family life that's spinning. If that plate falls, granted, we want to pick that plate back up because it's important, but it actually doesn't stop you from continuing to spin your business plate. Your feelings might, right? Your feelings might, you might be like, man, I'm so emotionally drained from this side that I don't have the energy to do it. But those are feelings. Once in number 71 in here, it says champions don't let feelings get in the way. Can't let feelings get in the way of the goals. Here's what it says. People operating at the poverty, working, and middle class levels of awareness are always getting ready to get started towards their goals. You hear that a lot, like, I'm getting ready to, I'm about to. Next week, this week, I'm getting ready to get started, right? Well, that's the people operating at the poverty, working, and middle class levels of awareness are always getting ready to get started towards their goals. The poverty class is going to find work soon, right? Those are the people putting in tons of job applications, knowing that they're just going to get a job soon at some point. It says the working class is getting ready to move up from night shift to day shift, right? They're the ones getting that promotion. They're the ones going back to school, whatever it is. Oh, actually, that was the next one. The middle class is going to start working on their graduate degree one of these days. All of them have good intentions, yet they rarely move beyond their intentions. They're always waiting and wondering when the time will be better for them to begin. They're waiting for their emotions to motivate them into action, and as a result, they become slaves to their feelings. Champions are masters of their emotions, and they know that waiting to feel like taking action is a losing proposition. Say that again. Champions are masters of their emotions, and they know that waiting to feel like taking action is a losing proposition. They believe there is never a better time to get started than today, and that tomorrow is merely a promissory note, and that any day could end up being their last. The great ones operate with a keen sense of urgency, dreaming of the future while firmly rooted in the present. Average people are smart enough and gifted enough to make their dreams come true, yet tend to wait so long to attempt anything substantial that by the time they have failed enough to have learned the lessons they need to succeed, life is over. Professional performers have a heightened sense of life's timeline, and their actions reflect. While the masses are waiting for the mood to strike them to act, the great ones start acting regardless of whether they feel like it or not. The small distinction in their thought process makes the difference between living their dreams and dying with their music inside of them. While the masses are waiting for the mood to strike them to act, the great ones start acting regardless of whether they feel like it or not. For all of us, ladies and gentlemen, that are designing our ideal life, you are not okay with an average, ordinary, humdrum, paycheck to paycheck type of life. That's not what you envision in your life. You envision abundance. You envision giving back. You envision lots of people being helped. You envision having a lot of money, having businesses, right? Having peace and freedom and time and all the stuff that you're thinking about that we're going after. This one sentence is going to be key to how you operate. You are going to have to learn how to do it regardless whether you feel like it or not. What's funny is most of us do this at a job. Most of us have a job, and there comes a day or two or 20 or 100 that you don't want to show up to that job. You wake up, you're like, I don't want to go do this today. But guess what you do? You go to the job. You go to the job. You don't feel like it. Got a bad attitude. Driving in traffic. You don't like it. Get to the office. You don't want to talk to anybody, right? You're in customer service. You're mean to the first 5 people that talk to you. Hopefully it's not you guys. But there's people out there that are like that. But you did it anyway. I don't feel like it. I'm going to do it anyway. Why? Because that job either has a consequence. If you lose that job, you're going to be fearful. You don't have money, whatever the case is. Or you just care so much about the money side or care so much about the growth side or whatever it is, right? That's pulling you to show up when you don't feel like it. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just asking you to do that in your own life without the external force of a job or a boss. Do that in your personal life. Do that with all the areas of your life that you say, hey, no matter what, I'm going to do this whether I feel like it or not. I'm going to go. Do you know, I just told you guys that last month, walked up to 20,000, close to 20,000 steps every day. You know how many of those of the last 30, 31, 32 days, I did not feel like doing that? You know how many, there's probably a solid 5 times I can think of that my schedule was packed. I had a bunch of appointments. I couldn't start walking until 9 p.m. or 9:30 at night. I live in a place that's kind of like the woods area, so it's like super dark, right? We don't got a lot of street lights and stuff. You know how many of those nights I was like, do I really want to go do this? But I have commitment, made a commitment. I have accountability partners. It's not just me. So there's people that are counting on me. There's people that are relying and making sure that I do it. So guess what I did? I got out at 9:30 at night, and I walked for an hour and a half. Why? Because it wasn't about my feelings. It was about making the commitment to do what I said I was going to do. And because I operate that way in my health life, I can operate that way in my business life. I can operate that way in my family life. I can operate that way in my financial life. There's lots of times that I do things that I don't feel like doing just because I made the commitment to, and I know that it's the right thing to do. It's the best thing to do. When this becomes the way you operate, there's that old saying, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So how you do one thing when it comes to not procrastinating, right? Actually saying, hey, I'm not going to focus on my feelings. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to make the commitment. The more we do that in one area of our life, the more we'll do it in other areas of our life. And that's what it takes for us to get to our goals and dreams. Doing it when you don't feel like doing it. It will never be the perfect time to do anything that you want to do. You want to get your health in order? It's never going to be the perfect time. There's a barbecue coming up tomorrow that you got to go to, right? It's not the perfect time, but you got to do it if you're going to do it, right? It's never going to be the perfect time to get that business started. Why? Because you still got the job. You still got all the stuff happening. It's never going to be the perfect time. So you just got to do it. And that was one of the messages that resonated in that video. You just got to start. You just got to begin. You just got to get going. Don't let your feelings and your thoughts and your emotions get in the way of your actions. Your feelings are separate from your actions. You can feel horrible and do things that are good. You can feel great and not do things that are good. They're separate. So what I'm encouraging all of you to do that are on this journey of designing the life you want, you're living below you're below your level, below your potential right now. There's so much more God has in store for you. You see it. You know that there's more out there. But what we have to focus on is getting away from our feelings, separating our feelings from our actions. Those are the only 2 things we can control anyway. Our attitude, our feelings, our emotions, right? We can control that, and we can control our actions. But don't let those 2 things, right, blend in. Don't let your feelings dictate your actions. Easier said than done, I know. Not trying to tell you any of this stuff is easy. I'm just telling you it's right. Right? How you handle your kids. If you can separate your feelings from your actions, you wouldn't yell at them as much. Right? Because they're children, right? They may frustrate you. However, your action can be different. This is how it resonates in all of our lives. This is how it shows up in all of our lives. But this is what we got to practice. Don't let your feelings get in the way of you designing the life that you deserve, because your feelings will get in the way. In scripture, it says the heart is deceiving, right? Basically means your feelings are deceiving. You can't trust your feelings, right? But we can trust our actions. We can trust what we do every day because you see yourself doing it. This quote here, Bill Gove says, it's easier to it's easier to act your way into good thinking than think your way into good action. It starts with doing. It's easier to act your way into good thinking, right? You got to actually do the thing, and your thoughts will be a little bit better versus just sitting there and pondering and thinking how to do some action. We got to go out there and make it happen. The action step for today says decide and develop the habit of not letting your feelings get in your way. Make a commitment to get started today and continue the commitment for the next 30 days, regardless of whether you feel like it or not. Remember, habits start out as cobwebs and turn into cables. Habits, ladies and gentlemen, the way that we get good habits is we do it when we don't feel like it. The more that we do things that we just feel like, again, think of these messages that we give to children. If you just do all the things that you feel like and you never do the things you don't feel like, how's your life going to turn out, right? You just eat all sugar and do all bad things, right? Like, how's your life going to turn out? Same thing for us. We're not children, but same thing for us. What are you doing that you know that you're sacrificing for, that you don't feel like doing, but it's getting you towards your goals and dreams? Not the thing you're just sacrificing for and you don't want to do, and it has no benefit to you. The thing that you're sacrificing for, the thing that you're not, that you're doing every single day, regardless of whether you feel like it or not, that's pushing you to the life that you want. What are those things? I challenge you all today, Friday, to list those things, write those things down, get really clear on those areas, and let's go out and change. If nothing changes, nothing changes. Remember that saying, if nothing changes, nothing changes. So if you go through today the same way you went through yesterday, the same thoughts, the same feelings, the same people, the same environments, opening up and doing the same stuff, looking at the same stuff on your social, watching the same shows, if nothing changes, nothing changes. If nothing changes, nothing changes. And we have to change, because that's where growth comes in, ladies and gentlemen. I love you all. I want you to win. You're very welcome, Diane. You're welcome to all of you that continue to show up. I'm proud of all of you for continuing to take this in. Again, this message isn't for everybody. Sometimes people show up, sometimes people don't, but you have to remember, this is about you. This is about you getting better, you getting to the life that you deserve. Just here to help, right? Because it's too crowded down here at the bottom. Time to get to the top of this thing. Love you guys. Enjoy your weekend. We'll see you again on Monday. Take care.